Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In life, we encounter times when everything seems to be directed by a higher force. This is due to the divine will of Allah, who orchestrates every event and circumstance, even in the most difficult times. It is through Allah's infinite wisdom and mercy that our lives take shape, and everything that happens to us is a reflection of His divine decree. Being chosen by Allah does not mean that one is superior to others. In reality, this demonstrates His mercy and infinite wisdom, as Allah chooses His servants to guide, protect, and elevate them spiritually. It is neither the fruit of our personal merit nor the result of our actions, but a gift from Allah, a blessing that brings us closer to Him. Before starting this video, I invite you to subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell to stay informed of our next publications on the Islamic faith. Thank you and good video. This verse emphasizes that Allah's choice is a mark of His favor and is in no way related to our efforts or merit, but only to His will and love for His servants. In this video, we will explore 7 telltale signs that when you are chosen by Allah, blessings and radical changes begin to occur in your life. So stay with me till the end to find out. If you have any questions or comments along the way, feel free to leave them down below. I really appreciate your feedback. Let's go. 1. Inner peace and serenity. When Allah chooses you, one of the first visible signs in your life is the inner peace that fills your heart. No matter what trials or difficulties you face, this deep serenity never disappears. It is a divine gift that manifests when you fully submit to the will of Allah, accepting that everything that happens in your life has a purpose and wisdom that you may not immediately understand, but which will bring you closer to Him. Allah, in His great mercy, instills this serenity in the hearts of believers, like a light that dispels the darkness of doubts and anxieties. In times of difficulty, those whom Allah has chosen find deep comfort in their faith. They understand that their relationship with Allah is a source of peace that surpasses anything they may experience externally. The certainty that Allah is always present, that He is the best protector, gives meaning to each ordeal we go through. This does not mean that life becomes without difficulties, but rather that the heart remains stable and calm in the face of adversity. The Quran teaches us this truth in the following verse. Those who believe and whose hearts are at peace by the remembrance of Allah. Certainly by the remembrance of Allah, hearts are calmed. This verse shows that inner peace, this lasting serenity, is a gift from Allah, which is found in dhikr, the constant reminder of His name and His greatness. When you remember Allah in all circumstances, your heart finds refuge, even in the midst of storms. The dhikr is therefore a powerful tool for maintaining this tranquility. It is a spiritual practice that soothes the soul, strengthens faith, and is a constant reminder of the divine presence. When life seems overwhelming, dhikr anchors you and brings you back to the essential, your connection with Allah. With each repetition of His name, each prayer, each supplication, you come closer to the serenity that He grants you. When you are chosen by Allah, this inner peace becomes an integral part of your existence. It is a divine response to submission to His will, tangible proof that no matter the challenges, Allah is always there to guide and protect. 2. Away from temptations and bad influences. When you are chosen by Allah, He grants you divine protection against temptations and evil influences that can lead the heart astray. The world we live in is full of distractions and traps that, without Allah's guidance, can easily divert us from the right path. However, Allah, in His infinite mercy, protects those He has chosen by providing them with clarity of vision and spiritual strength to avoid these pitfalls. Allah guides us to the light, allowing us to see clearly what is good for us and what might harm our faith and well-being. He offers us the strength to resist temptations that can weaken our relationship with Him, while distancing us from bad social influences and harmful behaviors. This divine guidance is not only a blessing, but also a responsibility. It is up to us to make the choice to remain firm and follow this path enlightened by His wisdom. The Quran reminds us that those who fear Allah are always guided towards good. In the next verse, Allah says, "Whoever fears Allah, He will find a way out for him and give him help." Surah At-Talaq 65-2. This means that Allah opens doors of guidance for those who demonstrate piety, allowing them to avoid bad influences and protect themselves from temptations that would distance them from Him. Fear of Allah is the key to discerning good from evil. And when you are chosen by Allah, you are strengthened in your ability to reject the distractions and traps of the world. In order to protect ourselves from evil social influences and temptations, it is essential to cultivate a constant awareness of Allah's presence in our lives. Here are some practical tips. 1. Strengthen your relationship with Allah through regular prayer, salat, and dhikr. This keeps your heart pure and focused on faith. 2. Avoid harmful environments that promote sinful behavior, whether through relationships, the media, or even the places you spend your time. 3. Surround yourself with godly people who share the same values and encourage you to stay on the right path. 4. Make conscious decisions by constantly reminding yourself that every action counts, and every little temptation is an opportunity to test your faith. When you are chosen by Allah, He guides you with kindness and grants you the wisdom to escape the traps of the world. Through His guidance, you are able to stand firm and avoid harmful influences that can destroy your inner peace and faith. 3. A deeper relationship with Allah. When you are chosen by Allah, the first visible consequence in your life is the intensification of your relationship with Him. This spiritual connection becomes deeper and more meaningful as Allah guides you toward actions and practices that strengthen this connection. This is particularly manifested through acts of devotion such as prayer, salat, dhikr, remembering Allah, and the study of Quranic verses which bring you closer to Him at every moment of your life. When Allah chooses you, you feel an intense thirst to better understand His word and nourish your soul with His light. Dhikr, which is the practice of constantly remembering Allah, becomes an inexhaustible source of peace and satisfaction. As you recite His name and reflect on His greatness, your heart is soothed, and you develop deep certainty in your faith. This certainty keeps you away from doubts and gives you the conviction that every step of your life is directed by His infinite wisdom. The Quran reminds us of the importance of this intimate connection with Allah. In the following verse, Allah says, "And those who believe and whose hearts are tranquilized by the remembrance of Allah, indeed, by the remembrance of Allah, their hearts are tranquilized." Surat Ar-Ra'd 13.28. This verse clearly shows that peace of heart and spiritual elevation come from connection with Allah. When you are chosen by Allah, He grows this relationship, providing you with moments of tranquility and certainty, even in times of trial. Your faith then becomes stronger and firmer because you understand that everything that happens to you is a way to deepen this connection. Your heart opens to the greatness of Allah, and you become aware of His constant presence in your life. This strengthening of faith is a divine sign that you are on the right path, a path that brings you closer to your Creator. To strengthen this relationship with Allah, it is essential to dedicate time each day to acts of devotion. Regular prayer, salat, is the basis of this relationship. It is through prayer that you stand before Allah asking for guidance and mercy. Sadaqah, or charity, is another powerful way to purify your heart and strengthen your connection with Allah by recognizing that everything you have comes from Him. Finally, learning Islamic sciences and studying Quranic verses allows you to better understand the will of Allah and live in accordance with His guidance. When you are chosen by Allah, He brings you closer to Him through His practices. You feel that every act of devotion, every prayer, every act of charity brings you closer to His love and mercy. This relationship becomes the pillar of your life, guiding you through every trial and challenge. By strengthening this connection, your heart finds its true peace and divine purpose. 4th, increased divine protection. When you are chosen by Allah, one of the most powerful blessings you will receive is His divine protection. No matter what trials you go through, even in the darkest moments of your life, Allah protects you. This protection does not mean that you will not encounter difficulties, but it ensures that you will be guided, supported, and protected from the most extreme consequences of these trials. Allah, in His great mercy, never leaves His believers without support. He protects them in subtle ways by providing them with ways to overcome life's challenges. This protection manifests itself through unexpected solutions, invisible help, and even the patience and inner strength you feel when faced with adversity. The Quran reminds us that those who believe in Allah benefit from His divine protection, even in the most difficult times. In the next verse, Allah says, "Allah is the protector of those who believe. He brings them out of darkness into light." Surat Al-Baqarah 2:2-5-7. This verse emphasizes that Allah's divine light guides His servants through the darkness of this world, offering them not only guidance, but also protection from spiritual and worldly dangers. By being chosen by Allah, you are protected not only from visible dangers, but also from invisible traps that can lead your heart astray or disrupt your inner peace. Allah guides you away from situations that could harm your faith and surrounds you with His mercy every step of the way. Even in suffering, this divine protection allows you to go through trials with the certainty that you are not alone and that you are under the care of Allah. To obtain this protection, it is essential to constantly seek refuge with Allah. Regular prayers, salat, are a direct form of connection with Him in which you ask for His protection. In addition, invocations, du'as, play a crucial role. Ask Allah to protect you from misfortunes, temptations, and trials. For example, in the morning and evening du'a, the Prophet said, "O Allah, I seek refuge in you from the evil of what you have created." This type of invocation helps strengthen your connection with Allah and reminds you that all protection comes from Him alone. Dhikr, a reminder of Allah, is also a daily practice that offers spiritual protection. By keeping Allah in your heart and thoughts throughout the day, you protect yourself from negative influences, bad thoughts, and wrongful actions. Allah says in the Quran, "Those who believe and whose hearts are tranquilized by the remembrance of Allah, know that by the remembrance of Allah, their hearts are tranquilized." This constant reminder of the divine presence protects you and grants you serenity in all situations. Thus, by drawing closer to your Creator through prayer, invocation, and dhikr, you invoke His protection over you, your loved ones, and your property. Even in times of weakness or difficulty, you are assured that Allah's protection is always there to support and guide you through life's trials. One of the deepest blessings of being chosen by Allah is the spiritual and personal transformation that comes from it. When Allah chooses you, He begins a process of purification and inner elevation that brings you closer to Him while transforming you into a better version of yourself. This transformation is not only visible in your outward behavior, but it is also reflected in your heart and soul. By the grace of Allah, those they choose experience a spiritual purification that makes them more aware of their relationship with Him. Allah purifies their hearts from the poisons of pride, resentment, anger, and jealousy, and enables them to develop virtues such as patience, gratitude, and sincerity. They transform their flaws into strength, and each difficulty becomes an opportunity for spiritual growth. This purification is not instantaneous, but a progressive process. As you become closer to Allah, you will experience a profound change in your intentions and actions. The companions of the Prophet may be living examples of this transformation. Let us take the example of Umar ibn al-Khattab, who before becoming Muslim was one of the greatest opponents of Islam. When Allah chose him, his heart opened to the truth, and he became one of the greatest companions and leaders of Islam. His story is a vivid demonstration of how Allah transforms a person. From the ruthless man he became an example of justice, piety, and leadership. Similarly, Abu Bakr Siddiq experienced a profound spiritual transformation through his unwavering faith and dedication to Allah. He did not simply accept Islam as a belief, but embodied it in every aspect of his life, leading Muslims with wisdom, humility, and love. These examples remind us that spiritual transformation is not just a change in external behavior, but a transformation of the soul, guided by divine light. When Allah chooses someone, it is not a coincidence. It is a call to a better version of yourself. This process may involve personal trials and tribulations, as Allah purifies and elevates those He loves. For example, when you're going through difficult times, it is often Allah who guides you to eliminate the weaknesses in your heart, strengthening you and purifying you from within. This calls us to personal reflection. How can we cultivate this spiritual transformation in our own lives? A good start is to demonstrate humility, be open to the teachings of Allah, and engage in a process of inner purification. One of the most effective ways to start is the constant practice of prayer, dhikr, and reading the Quran. By reflecting on your actions and sincerely seeking to improve, you allow Allah to purify your heart and elevate your mind. So when you are chosen by Allah, this transformation becomes part of your path to spiritual perfection. You start to see life from a different perspective. Each trial becomes a lesson, each difficulty an opportunity to grow spiritually. Sixth, a feeling of gratitude and confidence. When you are chosen by Allah, a deep feeling of gratitude fills your heart. You begin to realize that everything you have in your life, whether material, spiritual, or emotional, is a divine blessing. Recognition of this reality gives rise to sincere gratitude to Allah in you, and this gratitude becomes the key to opening the doors of blessing and prosperity in your life. Gratitude to Allah is not simply an act of gratitude for the great blessings we receive, but also for the small things of daily life. When you are aware that every breath you take is a gift from Allah, every moment of peace and calm, every smile, every food you consume becomes a sign of His infinite mercy. It's this feeling of gratitude that transforms the way you see the world. You no longer focus on what you don't have, but on the spiritual wealth you possess through the blessing of Allah. The following Quranic verse recalls the direct relationship between gratitude to Allah and increasing His blessings. If you are grateful, I will give you more. This verse highlights a profound truth. The more we express our gratitude to Allah, the more blessing He grants us. It is a divine promise. Gratitude is not only an act of gratitude, but an invitation to receive even more blessings from Allah. Gratitude opens a path to greater peace, prosperity, and success in this world and the hereafter. Additionally, gratitude strengthens trust in Allah. When a person is grateful, they develop a stronger bond with Allah because they recognize that every aspect of their life is in the hands of His will. This feeling of trust in Allah becomes a strength that helps overcome trials, difficulties, and challenges. You know that everything that happens to you is under the control of Allah, and this brings you inner peace and unshakable serenity. To cultivate this gratitude on a daily basis, it is essential to adopt a few simple but effective practices. Start each day by expressing gratitude to Allah for the blessings you have received, even the smallest ones. For example, after each prayer, take a moment to thank Allah for health, family, work, and even trials that help you grow. The practice of dhikr, the remembrance of Allah, is also a form of gratitude. Every time you pronounce the names of Allah or glorify Him, you are showing gratitude to Him. Gratitude can also be demonstrated through concrete actions such as showing charity, sadaqah, or treating others with kindness and respect. These acts are not only a way to express your gratitude, but also a way to attract even more blessings into your life. So when you are chosen by Allah, this gratitude becomes an essential part of your relationship with Him. It nourishes your faith, strengthens your trust in its infinite wisdom, and opens the doors of blessing in your life. Gratitude is a key that allows your heart to fill with light, peace, and serenity, while strengthening the deep bond you share with your Creator. When Allah chooses you, His mercy manifests itself in extraordinary ways in your life. Not only do you receive deep spiritual blessings, but you are also showered with blessings that can translate into material aspects of your existence. These blessings are not limited to material possessions, but are mainly revealed in the form of spiritual success, inner tranquility, and harmonious relationships. One of the most obvious aspects of this blessing is the inner tranquility you feel. When you are chosen by Allah, you begin to perceive life from a more serene angle. You feel more peaceful in the face of challenges and trials. You understand that no matter what difficulties you face, Allah is always with you, guiding and supporting you. This translates into a deep trust in His wisdom and a certainty that every trial is an opportunity for spiritual growth. This inner tranquility is reflected in your behavior. You become more patient, more tolerant, and more able to handle trials with dignity and faith. Allah's blessings are not limited to moments of spiritual peace. They also manifest themselves in your relationships with others. When Allah chooses you, your interactions with others become more harmonious. You are better able to cultivate relationships based on love, respect, and compassion. In the Quran, Allah reminds us, and Allah's mercy is near to those who do good. Surat Al-Araf 756. This divine mercy extends to your personal and family relationships, bringing peace and understanding to your daily interactions. You move away from unnecessary conflicts and tensions, and those close to you feel an atmosphere of calm and well-being in your presence. Material success, although secondary to spiritual success, can also be part of the blessings you receive as Allah's chosen servants. Allah grants His servants what they need to live with dignity and sometimes even beyond. This does not mean that every believer will be materially wealthy, but rather that Allah provides the means necessary for personal success and well-being. This material success is an extension of spiritual blessing, and it serves to strengthen your gratitude to Allah, reminding you that everything comes from Him. As the Hadith says, whoever seeks Allah's satisfaction through work, Allah grants him blessing in his life. Hadith reported by At-Tirmidhi. Finally, Allah's blessing is also manifested in increased spiritual awareness. You become more attentive to your connection with Allah, more engaged in your prayers and acts of worship. Your heart expands in dhikr, and you feel closer to your Creator. This spiritual awareness guides you in all aspects of your life, allowing you to make more informed decisions and remain firmly grounded in your faith, no matter the challenges. To recognize and make the most of these blessings, it is crucial to remain humble and grateful. Do not allow yourself to be carried away by pride or the illusion that you deserve these blessings because of your own efforts. Everything you have is a gift from Allah, and the best way to show your gratitude is to continue serving Him with sincerity and dedication. Adopt an attitude of gratitude, practice sadaqah, charity, and never lose sight of the true purpose of these blessings, growing in faith and strengthening your relationship with Allah. So when you are chosen by Allah, your life becomes a reflection of His infinite generosity, filled with spiritual and material blessings. Always remain aware of these blessings and continue to show gratitude through both your words and actions to make the most of each blessing and live a life full of spiritual success.